Hello, hello, welcome everybody. And we didn't do much like level design stuff last time. What's this? This is a clear landmark. Yeah, where's the main path? This part feels carved out for sure. And like this is very visible from this side, but I can't imagine it's visible from the other side. Because these are like green. Yeah, it's still pretty obvious, I would say. Oh, okay, so this is why it's like so apparent. It's because it's a grace. Like the golden trees in the middle of the lake that's very much above the green trees is because it is a grace. So my question is, why did they put a golden tree here? Or is there like a reason in general when they switch? Are all the trees that are in the water green, but any tree that is above the water is not green? It's a good way to have landmarks in your big ass lake. It is a little funny how like obvious this building is. I love it when there's a single fire source marking the entrance. It was like this in the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh, what's over there? And then I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. They fucking got me. Again, people are going to be very confused. Okay, guys, we need to act completely normal so that it doesn't confuse the other people. I feel like this rune, because it looks similar to the rune outside, right? People might assume that it's a wall, which is kind of funny. All right, let's see the big reveal. Ooh, the fog changed. Wow, that's so pretty. Like, this is concept art for sure, you know what I mean? Like, someone painted this, and then they made it. Oh my god, guys. Guys, it's 2 torches. They have 2 torches, not 1. Could you imagine if it was 1 torch? I would have lost my mind. You can see light from here, actually. That's an interesting sightline. You can sort of see it's lit around the corner. So, okay, actually, that's something I could say. So these paths aren't weighted equally. If you put yourself here, right, and you look that way, and then if you looked the other way, like this, if this was a T hallway, I think the way people would evaluate the paths is as equal. So you might think, oh, that looks like kind of a main path that might go somewhere, and that looks like kind of a main path that might go somewhere. Like, the way that they actually put this in the room fits more with what they wanted to give you, as opposed to keeping it on a T. I do actually wonder, though, if they made this a T, and you could see the end of the hallway like you saw a wall, maybe it still would be evaluated as, like, this, as correctly. That makes sense? But if I thought about it this way, if this was a hallway, and then it turned left, like this location of this item hasn't changed, but instead we're going to put it on this same axis, like here. It goes straight down and then it takes a left. I think that actually would be more confusing to people. The assumption is that people will look at the light first, and it leads you to the grace. I don't know how to say this, guys. There's the light. Are you seriously telling me that the candle is giving off this much light? Absolutely not. There's a big, giant, round light probably jammed in that corner. But it's not important, right? It's about verisimilitude, not exactness. Well, we want to make sure that they find the grace. And if you look at it from here, if neither of these were lit, we would evaluate the paths the same. If I'm a player, I just go this way, and then, like, die, and I didn't find the grace, I'm fucking outside again, which is a huge risk factor. Alright, so last time we got this breastplate that looks like this breastplate, and also the new model that hopefully you've seen by now, or there's a video of. Go watch the video. Alright, so we have the lighting trick, the normal lighting trick of it's very dark and now it's light. So despite the fact that there's candles on the sides, there's no auxiliary light. Like, they didn't put a spotlight or a sphere light here. They just left it as is, so that this part is nice and lit. 2 torches! Guys, we're spoiled for choice. Oh, shit. Oh. Hey, we dodged it. I also like whenever they do this kind of thing, by the way. When they put, like, a dead thing, and they're like, wow, why is this guy dead in the middle of the stairs? That's so weird. And then it's like, oh, maybe it's because there's a giant boulder that comes down and squishes them. It's pretty funny, honestly. It's not super apparent, but like these are doing the torch thing where it's like orange. It's very unlikely that the candles themselves have a light baked into them. because there are so many of them that don't actually produce light. But having like an orange sphere light here or something helps us see the door. They use the fog to such good effect. Like, the fog is really pulling a lot of weight. I think that there are people who use fog just for cool effect, if that makes sense. But I genuinely think, like, the render distance on all the fog, like, it really helps you see between the immediate foreground and the background and all that. I would kill for Flood to do this for Lord of the Rings Gollum. That game was, like, not good, right? Interestingly, a game that we could look at that looks really nice, but in my opinion suffers from bad level design. Clair Obscur has really, really winding pathways. Like, a lot of the rooms look similar. A lot of them spiral in a similar way. Mind you, I saw the credit. There were more level artists than level designers. There was only one level designer and a lot of level artists on Clair Obscur. I understand that, you know, it was just the one guy. I don't know what feedback he got on how the pathfinding was in each of the places. I find myself getting lost a lot in Clair Obscur. I think it really comes down to stuff like there isn't too much information in each individual place, right? Like, this is just one little hallway that leads to, like, one thing. I guess it starts a new area. Can you see how I can sort of see the end of the path here? Like, I can see that this is a path, and I can see, like, straight down to over there. What this could have looked like, these buildings could have gone all the way up, and they could have been empty towers, basically. Just empty towers that, like, completely wall off the sightline, which makes it harder to tell where you're going. There's actually, I was given a lens that I want to describe, is that the lens would suggest three things. Stability, utility, and beauty. That's what it is. How this translates, stability is basically... Utility refers to, does the space lead to the objectives that you need it to go to? Is it clear where I'm supposed to go? And then there's beauty, which is just, does it look nice? Those were all kind of vague. They do also kind of overlap and blend into each other. I would say that Clair Obscur is... The levels look nice. There's decorations everywhere. It's, like, completely sprawling. You can kind of get lost in it, too. Like, I think a game about exploring kind of lends itself to the idea that you're lost and kind of running around and stuff. It's hard to find out where I'm going. So I would say that utility-wise, the sight lines aren't as good, and you can get lost very easily. That does not fulfill the utility pillar. It's nice to feel like you're getting lost, but not actually get lost. Exactly. And that's kind of a tricky thing to capture, I would say. Something that I think is important is, like, landmarking and the way spaces feel. So look at this. We start here, and we come up to this courtyard, and we have this big landmark to point to. We have this as, like, an anchor for where we're supposed to be. So if I go over here, we can still see that thing. If we go over here, you see how we can still see that landmark from here? Oh, it's covered by the trees here a little bit. But we can see that big staircase. That's another landmark. That's like a big thing that we can recognize. So there's that landmark. That's its own space. When we get to those stairs over there, that feels like its own space. So we can see the culmination of that, which I want to point out here. Think about this for a second. Did the other spaces feel like this space? And why does it feel different? These are roofs. Running around on roofs where there's open space around you will feel different than the tiling of the staircase and also the flatness of the courtyard where it has that big center like prop to look at. So how I think this helps is that because all these spaces feel different, they're decorated differently, you're much less likely to get lost. Because this is its own area. This is its own level. It's its own progression. I would severely doubt that I would get lost here. Thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye. Goodbye.